Welcome to the Intuition mini-series, where we're going to be exploring every facet of intuition, whether you got it, how you develop it, what's blocking you from actually utilizing it. We're going to cover it all in this mini-series. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of these videos. So what is intuition? I have heard over the years so many different explanations that it's only for the real spiritual people, that it's actually, even I've heard that it's evil, that it's something that you should not tamper with, that it's something that you should not utilize, that you're either born with it or not. And it's so fascinating, all the different thoughts and ideas out there. Here we're going to get real about what intuition is. And I think it's actually going to disappoint some of you because it's not woo-woo. It's not something mystical. And so let's get right into it. So before we actually dive right into your intuition, let's just back up the bus a little bit here and explore how you create your reality, how you take in information. So primarily, we've been taught to take in all of our information via our five senses, right? Your five senses are actively taking in vast amount of information all day long, 24 hours a day, each and every day, right? But here's the thing. You each use your five senses uniquely different, meaning you have different filters on your five senses. Some are stronger, some are weaker than others. And because of your unique utilization of your five senses, no one perceives reality the same way as you do. No one. So you could be walking down the street with a friend and you and her are having two complete different realities. We'll get into this a little bit deeper in another video about how that creates so much complexities in our life. But here's the thing. So you're utilizing and taking information from your physical world all day long from your physical senses. Yes, we know this. So what is your intuition? It's utilizing your subtle senses. So every day, as you're taking information from your five physical senses, you're also taking information from your subtle senses. And that is your intuition. But it's not as simple as that. Your intuition, utilizing your subtle senses, is taking information that is not actually represented in your physical world, meaning you can't see it with your physical eyes, you can't hear it with your physical ears, you're not getting the physical cues from it from your five senses. And here, let me give you an example. Let's say all of a sudden you're walking down the street and you meet a friend that you haven't seen for so long, right? And you're having a conversation on the sidewalk. The person's excited to see you. They're explaining what's happening in their lives. They seem so happy. But then you also at the same time get a sense that, I don't know, that I'm getting this feeling like something's off, something's wrong with this person. So here's the thing, your five physical senses are showing the body language of this person. They're excited, they're smiling, they're happy. You're hearing the tone in their voice. But then at the same time, your subtle senses is picking up other information that, geez, I don't think this person is as happy as they're showing. Now, this will either go two ways. You're going to either ask, hey, so like, what's really going on? Are you really okay? Or at the end of the conversation, you're going to go your merry way and you're going to analyze this. You're going to get a little bit confused. Your brain is telling you, oh, the person looked happy, sounded happy, seemed excited. But then your subtle senses, your intuition is going to tell you, but something didn't seem right. Something seemed off. Yes? You've had this happen before. So whether you know it or not, you've been using your intuition your whole entire life, meaning you're always getting information from your subtle senses as well. And most of us don't discern what is coming from our physical senses and what is coming from our subtle senses because they're coming in at the same time. It's just different kind of information. So if we go back to the conversation that I had with my friend, I can't pick that feeling out in my physical world. And this is what has people stumped about not trusting their intuition. And we're going to get deeper into some of the blocks and some of the myths that are actually stopping you from utilizing your intuition. So just like you use your 5 physical senses very different, very uniquely, you also use your subtle senses very differently. So I'm sure all of you have heard the different clairs. Yes, those are describing your subtle senses. So our physical sense, we have the sense of sight, hearing, taste, smell, touch. Well, these are your subtle senses, and you all uniquely use them in different strengths and in different ways. Here's the thing, you are an intuitive being. You've been using your intuition every single day of your life. Now, this is where I find people struggle because you're just receiving. And what I find a lot of people would like to do is direct their intuition, meaning they just don't want to be the receiver. They want to be able to discern what is their intuition, but also how to apply their intuition versus just receiving. Yes. So let's say you want to use your intuition into a relationship and get a different perspective, get clarity, get different kind of information that you can't get from your physical senses. So most people want to be able to learn. So how do I direct it? How do I utilize it? How do I strengthen it? How do I trust it? And that's what we're going to be exploring in the upcoming videos, because there's a lot of complexities to it. Even though you're naturally intuitive and you naturally have intuition, you have to consciously be able to direct it as well. Because here's the thing, you don't consciously direct your eyesight. You're out in the world and you're receiving all this information, but it's not like when you go for a walk, all of a sudden, tree, dog, tree, grass, green clouds. It's not like these thoughts are coming in. You're just literally bringing in the information. That information is being sorted by your brain. Yes? So your subtle senses get sorted by your brain as well, just different parts of your brain. And if you haven't strengthened or utilized those different parts of your brain, then you're going to be missing the whole journey that you could be having with your intuition. Yes? Now, one thing I want to clear up here, because I think this is a big issue here with people. There is a difference between intuition and being psychic. All right. So intuition is utilizing those subtle senses, getting information that is not represented in your physical world. But intuition is taking that information now, in the present moment, as it's happening. Perhaps you're walking into a room and the room looks beautiful and all the people in the room are happy. There's music, it's a party, but you get hit with a feeling like this is a really dense room or really heavy room, or makes you feel different, right? You're receiving information via your subtle senses at the present moment. Now, being psychic is very different. It's taking your intuition, taking the ability to take in information that is not in your physical world, but changing the perspective, changing it to a future point in time. Okay. So with intuition, it's all about, once you can utilize it, it's all about changing the perspective. So again, who am I to be, having this conversation with you? Well, I'm intuitive, I'm psychic, and I'm a medium. So it's taking your intuition, meaning gathering that information outside of your physical world, but then applying different perspectives, applying different lenses. So when I'm doing readings for people, I'm now taking my intuition, the ability to take information outside of my physical world and take a look into the future. When I'm connecting with someone who's passed, it's a different perspective. I'm now changing my perspective so I can see differently, so I can perceive differently, so I can gain different kinds of information, right? So I do this in a multiple of different ways for a multiple of shifts of perspectives, right? So it is very different from utilizing and tapping and trusting your intuition versus being psychic. Okay, so now in the next video, what we're going to actually explore is the most common ways, beliefs, and myths that are actually blocking your way from truly utilizing your intuition, from gaining that deeper insight, those different perspectives, that different kind of information that could be extremely helpful for you in your world and your life. So join me in the next video where we're going to explore those and how you can navigate past them so it's no longer blocking your ability to utilize your intuition, to trust it, and to strengthen it. So go ahead and join me in the next video. But make sure you're subscribing and liking, because I don't want you to miss a video, because it is going to be a progressive journey, meaning you don't want to miss a video because you'll likely get lost in the next video if you haven't explored the concepts that we're covering in the videos. So join me in the next one as we continue to deepen our journey into your